Do you not see how the lion walks, needing no roar to command the jungle? So too, the man or woman who is rooted in virtue, calm in storm, and rich in inner stillness, draws others not through noise, but through presence. In this world of loud voices and empty gestures, people chase attraction through tricks, scripts, and validation. But the Stoic knows true magnetism does not come from words. It comes from stillness, from self-mastery. From silent confidence that cannot be faked. You do not become irresistible by chasing. You become irresistible by becoming. The body may catch attention, but it is the soul, the character, the calm gaze that holds it. Let us begin. Stillness is your power. Be like the rock against which the waves crash. It does not move. Marcus Aurelius, in a world addicted to noise, stillness is rebellion. The man who can sit quietly, unmoved by the chaos of others, possesses a presence that cannot be ignored. This stillness is not emptiness, it is depth. It is the strength to remain centered when others are pulled by every breeze of emotion or attention. People confuse silence with weakness, but silence can be thunderous when it is powered by self-control. A man who is still, yet present, commands the room without effort. His calmness becomes a mystery, and mystery awakens interest. Most chase attraction with force, flashy words, overcompensation, attention, seeking. But the Stoic knows power lies in restraint. He does not rush to impress. He lets his energy do the speaking. When you are rooted within, the outside world begins to move toward you. The magnetic person is not loud, but composed. Not reactive, but responsive. Not needy, but observant. Stillness communicates that you are in command of your mind, body, and emotions. That kind of mastery is rare and deeply attractive. Stillness reveals what is hidden. When you are quiet, you begin to notice the noise in others, their desperation, their need for approval. You, however, remain unmoved, and that unnerves them. In the most powerful way, think of the ocean. Its surface may stir, but the depth remains calm. So should you be. When others seek chaos, you bring calm. That calm becomes a refuge. That calm becomes a magnet. Stillness is not just physical, it is emotional. The Stoic does not flinch when insulted, does not overreact when praised. He knows both are illusions. He is rooted in principle, not popularity. When you master stillness, you do not rush. You do not try to close the deal. You simply exist as one who knows his worth. That in itself creates tension, allure, and mystery, elements of deep attraction. Ask yourself, when was the last time you sat silently and allowed the world to speak first? The one who speaks last often speaks with the most clarity. So train yourself in stillness. That is where true power begins. In the end, stillness is not just a technique. It is your nature. Once you remove ego, fear, and desire, it is the language of the powerful. The more still you become, the more others are drawn to understand the silence that holds your strength. Master the eyes, master the room. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, the eyes do not lie. They reveal the condition of the soul. A restless man's gaze darts like a cornered animal. A man of peace, of conviction, of inner stillness. His eyes do not search, they observe, and observation is power. When you master your gaze, you master your presence. Most people look with hunger. They seek validation, approval, or pleasure. But you must train your eyes to reflect sovereignty, not scarcity. Do not look as one who desires. Look as one who already possesses himself, and therefore lacks nothing. When you walk into a room, your eyes must say what your mouth never should. I am enough. I am not here to chase, I am here to be. Such a gaze will be unsettling to those who expect desperation, but deeply attractive to those who crave depth. The Stoic gaze is calm, steady, and unbothered. You do not flinch. You do not look away quickly in shame, nor do you stare in arrogance. Your gaze is like water, reflective, patient, and clear. It pulls others in, not by force, but by depth. To master the eyes is to master self-awareness. Your gaze becomes a mirror, and people see themselves in you. If you are rooted in stillness, they feel it. If you are drowning in lust or anxiety, they feel that too. You cannot fake the language of the eyes. You must become it. Practice meeting eyes with grace, not aggression, not flirtation, just awareness. Look at others not to consume them, but to understand them. The one who sees others clearly becomes impossible to ignore. Most want to be seen, but few truly see. This is not about seduction. This is about alignment. When your gaze aligns with your purpose and your character, it radiates something sacred. Intensity without threat, interest without need, awareness without ego. Let your gaze rest where it chooses, not where it is told to land. Do not dart around to check who is watching. Do not avert your eyes in shame. Let your eyes reflect this silent truth. I have nothing to prove. Your gaze should be like a lighthouse, steady, guiding, impossible to ignore. It doesn't shout, it doesn't chase, but ships still sail toward it. People are drawn to the one who looks at the world as if they are not bound by it. Remember this, before you ever speak, your eyes have already spoken. What do they say about you? Do they reflect desperation? Or do they reflect mastery? The Stoic chooses mastery, and that is what others are drawn to, even if they cannot explain why. Speak through your posture, not your mouth. Let your bearing be noble, not arrogant, composed, not passive. Marcus Aurelius, before a word leaves your mouth, your posture already speaks. It tells the world who you believe you are. The Stoic does not slouch like one defeated by life, nor does he puff his chest like one pretending to be strong. He walks with quiet dignity, balanced, upright, present. Your body carries your philosophy. If your mind is disciplined, your posture reflects it. If your mind is scattered, so will be your movements. The way you sit, stand, walk, and rest each becomes a mirror of your inner temple. Make sure that temple is in order. Attraction is not born in flashy movements. It's born in still, purposeful presence. You don't need to overgesture to be noticed. The man or woman who moves with intention becomes unforgettable. Each step, each motion, each still moment sends a message. I am in command of myself. When you walk, walk like someone with nothing to prove. Don't rush, don't drag your feet, don't seek to be noticed. Instead, let every movement reflect a life in alignment. Let the body serve the soul, not the ego. In conversation, your posture is your silent language. You don't lean in to beg for validation. You don't shrink to make yourself smaller. You hold your ground, not aggressively, but respectfully, like a tree rooted in deep soil. Posture shows whether you live in reaction or creation. If you're hunched by anxiety, always scanning, always shifting, you look like a servant of the world. But when you're upright, centered, still, you look like a master of it. Watch your shoulders, watch your breath. The Stoic holds no tension, but no slackness either. His body is alert, not anxious, ready, not restless. This balance, once achieved, becomes deeply attractive, not because it demands attention, but because it radiates harmony. Most people don't realize how posture influences their entire energy. Try this: stand tall, breathe slowly, and don't fidget. Watch how the world responds differently. You haven't changed your words, only your presence. But that's all it takes. When your posture matches your purpose, people feel it. They don't know why, but they sense something ancient, something rare. An individual who does not perform, but simply is. No show, no script, just alignment. In the end, remember this: the body is a servant of the mind, but others read your body before they hear your mind. If you seek to become magnetic without saying a word, begin with how you carry yourself. Let every inch of you say what you stand for, without needing a single sound. Desire nothing, radiate everything. He who needs nothing possesses everything. Marcus Aurelius: there is no greater repellent than desperation. And no greater magnet than detachment. When you walk into a room desiring nothing, seeking no approval, craving no attention, you suddenly begin to radiate an aura that others cannot ignore. Why? Because most people live in thirst. But the Stoic walks quenched. Attraction is not something you chase, it is something you emit, and the source of that emission is not charm or tactics, but your relationship to desire. You do not kill desire, you master it. You do not pretend to be above pleasure, you simply are not ruled by it. People can sense when you want something from them, especially intimacy, validation, or attention, but when your energy says, "I want nothing from you," they become curious. They lean in, they wonder what you know that they don't. That's magnetism. The one who needs nothing becomes a paradox. You are not hungry, yet you are full of fire. You are not chasing, yet you are focused. You are not cold, yet you are unshaken. That paradox is irresistible, because it hints at inner mastery. Desire in itself is not the enemy. Attachment to its fulfillment is. The Stoic acknowledges desire but does not bow to it. He recognizes the pull, then calmly walks past it. In doing so, he becomes more desirable than the thing he once craved. To radiate everything is to live in abundance, not of money or status, but of presence. Your body speaks calm, your eyes show clarity, your movement reflects purpose, and that abundance, that quiet strength, pulls people in because they want to feel what you feel. Think of a fire. It does not beg to be noticed. It simply burns, and in burning it gives light and warmth. That's your role. Be so full of inner fire, of inner clarity, that others gather around, not because you called them, but because they felt something real. This way of being is rare. Most are grasping, most are performing, but you, if you master this, become different. You stop living for reaction and start living in creation. You stop trying to attract and start becoming someone worth being around. When you no longer need anyone, you begin to draw everyone, not because you manipulate them, but because you free them. You allow others to breathe around you. There is no tension, no game, no trap, just presence, just radiance. So say this to yourself: I will desire nothing, and in doing so, I will lack nothing. I will radiate what I have earned: peace, presence, purpose. And let that speak louder than any words. This is the way of the Stoic. This is the root of true, wordless magnetism. Your discipline is the silent flame. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. Marcus Aurelius' discipline is invisible in the moment, but unmistakable over time. It shapes your voice, your face, your gaze, your presence. It's not loud, it's not dramatic. It doesn't beg to be seen, and yet those around you feel it. It lingers in the way you move, the way you breathe, the way you walk into a room. It is the silent flame that warms your aura. Every act of discipline builds your magnetism. Waking early, training your body, fasting from distractions, reading while others scroll. These choices carve your soul into something solid, something weighty. Most walk through life like smoke, but the disciplined one walks like fire. You do not need to tell people you are focused. They will feel it. They will feel the stillness in your posture. They will feel the absence of nervous energy. They will feel your attention when you speak to them, and be stunned by how rare that is in a distracted world. Discipline means you are not a slave to craving. You can look at temptation and calmly decline. That restraint shocks people, because most are ruled by impulse. The one who chooses purpose over pleasure becomes a rare figure, a leader, not a follower. Your physical discipline speaks without words. A strong body, refined through effort and control, does not need to flex. It simply is. It reflects consistency. It reflects devotion to something greater than comfort. And that, more than appearance, is what draws attention. Mental discipline sharpens your presence. You think before you speak. You don't react to provocation. You remain composed when insulted and humble when praised. This balance, forged in self-discipline, creates a gravity that people feel, even if they can't explain it. Most people carry chaos. They are scattered, unfocused, always reaching for something to fill the void. But the Stoic moves with order. He knows where he's going. He knows what he stands for. That clarity is magnetic, because it makes others feel safe and curious. Your daily habits are not small. They are everything. What you do in the dark becomes who you are in the light. You cannot fake depth, control, or presence. These must be earned, one disciplined day at a time. And once earned, they radiate through your entire being. The disciplined man or woman does not seduce with tricks. They don't need to. Their life is the seduction. The way they treat their time, their body, their mind, it shows they are sovereign. That sovereignty becomes attractive because it is so rare. So build your flame in silence, wake before the world, train when no one watches, resist when others indulge, read when others scroll. That fire will grow, until one day you walk into a room and say nothing. Yet everyone feels you, not because you performed, but because you disciplined yourself into power. Confidence without arrogance, humility without weakness. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Marcus Aurelius' confidence is not loud. It does not shout. It does not beg for recognition. It is the quiet knowing of one who has done the work. Arrogance, on the other hand, is hollow. It is noise trying to fill a void. The Stoic walks the fine line between the two, never forgetting that true power speaks softly. The one who is truly confident has no need to boast. He does not list his achievements, nor does he compare himself to others. He simply shows up, calm, grounded, aware, and in that silence, others feel his presence. It's not ego, it's essence. Arrogance is rooted in insecurity. It must be fed constantly. But confidence, real confidence, comes from virtue, from clarity, from living with alignment. You know who you are, and you're not shaken by who others think you are. Similarly, humility is not self-deprecation. It is not weakness. It is strength under control. It is the refusal to place yourself above others, even when you could. It is the awareness that life is fleeting, and greatness means little without goodness. A Stoic is humble because he understands his place in the cosmos. He is dust and breath, flesh and bone, no different than those he meets, but he is confident because he governs himself, which so few do. That rare balance makes him both approachable and powerful. When you blend confidence with humility, you become rare. People feel drawn to you, but not intimidated. They respect your strength, but they feel safe in your presence. You are not a threat. You are a refuge. You are not needy, but you are not cold either. Confidence allows you to speak when it's time, and remain silent when it's wiser. It helps you take space without dominating it. It lets you own your worth without seeking applause. It is magnetism without manipulation. Humility, likewise, allows you to learn, to listen, to grow. It keeps your ego in check and your heart open. The arrogant fall quickly when the storm hits, but the humble stand firm, for they have nothing to prove and everything still to gain. People are drawn to those who are centered, not those who overcompensate, and not those who shrink, but those who simply are authentic, solid, and at peace with themselves. That's what confidence without arrogance looks like. That's what humility without weakness feels like. So carry both. Walk as one who knows he is powerful, but does not parade it. Speak as one who knows truth, but does not force it. And love as one who needs nothing, but gives freely. In that balance, you become unforgettable, not because you shouted, but because you radiated something too rare to ignore. Let your purpose speak louder than your lips. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive. Marcus Aurelius' purpose is the strongest cologne, the most alluring perfume. You can wear the best clothes, say the cleverest things, or follow every trick in a book. But if your life lacks direction, people will feel it. It leaks through your energy. But when you live with purpose, your presence is felt before you ever speak. The Stoic does not wander aimlessly. His actions are chosen, his time protected, his energy sacred. He wakes with a mission, not for approval, not for applause, but because he honors his short time on earth. This quiet fire is felt by others. It stirs curiosity, it draws attention, it magnetizes. Most people speak far too much and do far too little. They talk about their goals but don't chase them. They dream but don't build. The Stoic reverses this. He lets his life be the proof. His silence is not emptiness. It is discipline, it is focus, and that focus is deeply attractive. When you have purpose, you don't need to chase people. You're too busy becoming. That focus creates distance, and distance creates interest. While others run after attention, you stay on your path, and the world begins to wonder, where is he going, and how can I follow? Purpose gives your gaze weight. It makes your silence echo. It infuses your posture with presence. You no longer need validation because you've already validated yourself through your efforts. You radiate self-respect, not because of what you say, but because of what you do. Living with purpose isn't about grand speeches or titles. It's about alignment. Do your words match your actions? Does your day reflect your philosophy? Do you show up consistently, even when no one is watching? When the answer is yes, your life becomes the loudest message of all. The man on a mission doesn't try to impress. He doesn't need to. His life is proof of his value. His presence reminds others of what they're missing. Not because he says so, but because it's obvious. He's not trying to be wanted. He's simply walking in truth. Women, men, friends, even strangers. Everyone can sense a person on fire with purpose. It's in the way you move, the way you listen, the way you carry yourself. You don't seek to consume, you seek to create. That difference is powerful, that difference is rare. Your lips don't need to speak your greatness. Let your habits do it. Let your mornings speak. Let your discipline speak. Let your refusal to waste time speak. Your silence will echo louder than someone else's empty performance. So build quietly, grow deeply, speak less, move intentionally, and let your purpose speak for you. That is how you become sexually magnetic without saying a word, not by shouting who you are, but by becoming so focused, so grounded, so real, that the world cannot help but listen. Become the flame, not the moth. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Marcus Aurelius, the world is full of moths, those who chase light without understanding it. They dart from person to person, craving warmth, desperate for attention, always circling, but never centered. But the Stoic does not chase. He becomes the flame, and in doing so, he draws others without a word. The flame does not beg the moth to come. It simply burns. It is focused on its own nature, its heat, its light, its purpose. And in that devotion to itself, others gather. That is how you must live, not as one who pursues, but as one who radiates. People are repelled by neediness because it feels like theft. It seeks to take energy. But the flame gives light. It does not need, it provides. When you become the flame, you offer presence, depth, and stability. You don't seek to consume someone. You simply are. Being the flame means building yourself. It means feeding your mind with wisdom, your body with strength, your spirit with clarity. The moth spends time in fantasy. The flame builds reality, and that difference becomes obvious to anyone paying attention. Most chase what they desire, unaware that chasing destroys attraction. The Stoic reverses this. He becomes what others desire, not by playing games, but by living in alignment with virtue, discipline, and inner fire. He doesn't hunt, he draws. The flame is grounded. It does not chase compliments or social validation. It burns whether it is admired or ignored, and that independence is what makes it attractive. People want what they cannot move, what is rooted in its own power. To become the flame is to be dangerous in the best way, not violent, not reckless, but unfazed, unshaken, untouchable. It is to be so focused on your own mission that others feel their own aimlessness in your presence, and are drawn to your direction. The moth dies in its pursuit. It sacrifices itself trying to touch what it doesn't understand. The Stoic avoids this fate by staying centered. You don't lose yourself for pleasure. You don't melt for temporary attention. You remain whole, and that wholeness makes others burn with interest. In every situation, ask yourself, am I chasing or am I drawing? Am I seeking or am I creating? Am I the flame or the moth? And if you are the moth, stop. Turn inward, build, burn, let your life catch fire with meaning. Because in the end, the most sexually magnetic thing a person can do is become themselves completely, fully, without apology or hesitation. Be the flame, and the world will come to you, not because you begged it to, but because it had no choice. You want to be desired, then become someone worthy of desire, not with tricks, but with truth, not with noise, but with stillness, not with seduction, but with presence. Become the one they cannot ignore, because you have mastered what they have not, yourself.